All right, we're here with Senior Associate Athletic Director for Sports Medicine at Kent State, Trent Stratton, and Football Athletic Trainer, Alan Wallace. They're going to show me what it's like to be a day in the life of a Division I athlete here in the Athletic Training Office. I'm excited for this. You guys ready to go?
Yeah, super excited.
Let's get it.
We're here with Football Athletic Trainer Alan. He's taping up my ankle now. I got to ask, how many tape jobs do you think you do a year?
That is such a high number. It has to be somewhere in the thousands, to be honest.
Now, how fast do you think, do you ever time yourself, have a taping record? He's going pretty fast right now on my left ankle.
Especially when talking to students, we need to be below 2 minutes. Usually we're somewhere around 115 to 130 in the certified athletic trainers world. And again, like practice might be a little slower, having conversations with the athletes, communication, how you feeling, what's going on. You know, if it's a game situation and somebody's waiting to get back on the field after an injury evaluation, it's going to be a lot quicker than that.
Now, are ankles the most common thing you guys are taping up, or what are some of the other things that athletes need treatment for?
We're definitely doing ankles, a lot of wrists, fingers. It really depends on the sport. But I would say for the most part, everybody's going to be doing a lot of ankles with what they're doing, and especially with the wrestling too, making sure that we're nice and stable with everything that we're doing.
Already finished, ready to go. I'm not sure how long that was, 90 seconds, but pretty darn fast. And this is the anti-gravity treadmill.
Yep, you'll be walking on a treadmill just like you would this treadmill,
Okay.
but we can take up to 80% of your body weight off of you, so it's like walking on the moon.
So use this on our post-op patients or somebody that's coming back from a long-term rehab, or somebody that also just wants a little bit different training stimulus. So track and field might get in here. If they want to decrease their load, somebody on the basketball court might want to decrease their load. Definitely ankle surgeries, knee surgeries, hip surgeries. We'll get our athletes in here. So you're just going to go 2 feet together there. So this allows you to get in here earlier, normally about the 3-month mark for post-op ACLs, 3-month, 4-month, depending on if your strength looks good, your swelling looks good. And again, get you back into running a little bit sooner if we didn't have a piece of equipment like this. Nice piece about this is that we have cameras on the back side, we have it on the side of you, and in front of you is a camera that you can look and see what your gait looks like as you're running. So that helps us out too. Maybe we'll give you some adjustments as you're moving.
Is this a common used piece of equipment for athletes on everyday usage?
Not for everyday usage, but definitely in athletic training you see it a lot more. Physical therapy clinics, depending on the size of it, the nature of the hospital center they work with, you'll normally see an Ultra-G treadmill. So what this is doing is filling it up. It becomes a gigantic vacuum. That's why we put you in these fancy space pants that I like to call them. Talked about going on the moon before. Upward pressure that's happening inside of the bubble here that is going to pick him up, and it's going to feel like he's being lifted up off his toes.
Certainly, I feel like a big balloon right now.
So now you're going to feel like you're getting picked up off your toes a little bit here and lift it up.
Oh yeah.
So we'll get you up to 35.
Oh yeah.
So you are now 35% of what your usual weight is.
Okay.
So we'll have you start walking here a little bit. You'll feel the treadmill start going.
Whoa.
You want to try to jog?
Yeah. Oh, let's try it.
Okay.
Hopefully
So we're at 45% body weight here. We're gonna get into a light jog at 5.5 speed. And now you don't need to hold on to the handles. If you want to, you can. I've never seen anybody trip and fall on this. It might be hilarious for TV, but let's not have today
We're
be the
not going
day.
to try it. We think of ourselves as a washed-up high school athlete. Hopefully, we're not that washed up.
So he's currently running in barefoot. Some of the other people might be used to doing this, but what we want to do is try to be as normal as possible. We won't get in here in soccer cleats or football cleats, but being in tennis shoes, just like we're training on turf or training on flat ground running. So it wouldn't be as stressful on his ankles here. But again, at 45% body weight, we're not putting as much stress on the ankles, hips, and knees.
Is this something during the heart of football season that you'll see a lot of different guys use?
So not necessarily. If somebody's coming back from patellar tendonitis or Achilles tendonitis, we may put them in there, and they're probably off the field to begin with anyway. In my standpoint, if you can still practice, you can still play, you should still be able to do the conditioning that we had. Basketball might be a little different because how much running they do in season. To do like a minus training day.
I feel like Neil Armstrong. Isn't that the guy that walked on the moon?
That is.
So with our cryo chamber, we use this primarily for recovery. When we got it 8 years ago, we only used it for recovery, and we only used it when a team wanted to use it. So for the sake of football, we used it on Sundays or maybe Mondays, and it was a time frame that we had. After we started using it, we realized that student athletes really felt better after doing it. So then it was, well, why do we want to do this after a competition? Why don't we do it leading into a competition.
It's gonna be really cold in there, so this is why I have the little slippers down here. We got the gloves going, so approximately how cold does it actually get in there?
It is negative 250 degrees. You're only in there for 3 minutes, but if at any point you want to tap out, no judgment.
Jack Frost, Dane Richardson coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you did say before I came in here, and this just being as honest as possible, to wipe off any possible sweat coming in here, so why is that?
Well, you don't want any moisture when you're going to be at negative 250 degrees, so anything on your body, any moisture on your body will freeze.
It's already cold outside. I think I'm gonna make it worse, but let's open this thing and get in here.
Jump on in.
Woo! Oh my gosh.
One of the things we have you do when you're in there is either do like a quarter turn about every 20 seconds or so, or just shift your weight like you're doing. We don't want your legs to be totally locked, because if your legs are locked, you run the risk of fainting, and we don't want that either.
Woo. A little chilly. We're gonna try and make it the whole 3 minutes. We'll see if we can. Trent's smiling. I'm not sure if he thinks I can make it.
Most people make it the full 3 minutes.
I actually thought wrestling, a 240-pound Division I wrestler, would be the toughest thing I would do in this video series. It might be this, and I grew up in the cold. Now, just out of curiosity, I know this has to be some type of expensive piece of equipment, and I'm sure professional franchises, other Division I schools have these as well. What does one of these go for?
I don't remember the exact cost. I think it was north of $50,000, and that's just for the equipment, and then we have to get liquid nitrogen in order to run it. So that is about $500 a tank.
Is there some athletes that you know that absolutely, the cryo chamber is my thing, they love this?
So when we got this, the company that sold it to us is based out of Dallas, and they had one at the Mavericks facility. And Dirk Nowitzki was still playing, and he used it twice a day. So he used it before practice and after practice every day.
Dirk Nowitzki, Hall of Famer, fan of the cryo chamber. Remember that. Pretty warm about now, and we made it the full 3 minutes.
You did it.
All right, I feel accomplished.
Got a little frost on you.
Little frost on me, but the cryo chamber, certainly an immersive experience, everyone. Now we're outside of the cryo chamber, but it feels like my body's new, it's refreshed. Alan told me earlier this helps a lot with blood flow. Obviously, is that designed for you to feel fresh and ready to go when you come out of this?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we would have you do now is go down and get on the bike to just kind of get the blood, to help get the blood flowing, and then do some stretching or foam rolling to help in recovery.
What do we got here?
Yep, so similar to the cryotherapy chamber that we talked about before, these are another set of pieces of equipment that we can use for recovery. So these are called the Therabody Recovery Air Jet Boots. So a lot of people might be aware of Rapid Reboots or Normatec boots. This is another company that we found that has kind of changed the game for us here at Kent State. So the nice part about this is that everything is built right into the leg sleeve. We have the pump that's down at the bottom. We have the controller up at the top here. And so what we do is we charge these overnight. We have a lot of athlete usage, and that takes away any errors that we can have by using the hose, moving things around, knocking a station off the table here behind us. And again, it's awesome. It's all built in here. So as soon as you put these on, we ask you to don't walk around. So you're gonna be nice and comfortable here, and everything gets set up here, right here in our legs. So what this is gonna do, again, as we talk about recovery, it is going to change with all these different cells that are in here. So there's going to be high pressure down in your feet, and then that's going to move to your ankles, and that's going to move to your calves, and then that's going to move to your knees, and then it's going to move all the way up to your hips. So when we put these on, we make sure that the athletes are either reclined backwards or even have the legs all the way up above the head. Some of our other tables, we can do that to where you're completely supine, legs are up above your chest. And again, gravity's going to help pull everything down.
I am not going to be multitasking with this, but
you're going to hold down that top button there.
Power these up.
Okay, we got you on 100% for both sides.
Okay.
For 20 minutes. If you're somebody that's coming back from an ankle or knee injury, you may go lower on a specific side, but this is set on our recovery mode. So like we talked about, it's going to flush you from your feet all the way up to your legs. And so what we're going to do is we're going to recline you back here.
How many athletes do you think come through here on a daily basis, if you had to estimate?
Yeah, I would say on a given day, we probably see about 150 athletes that come through here, and some days maybe higher than others, some day maybe lower. It really depends on the sports season that's going on, whether we're in fall, winter, or spring. but there's constantly people coming through here. And it's actually pretty impressive that nobody's on here right now and you get to fit in here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
These are definitely a hot commodity.
I know having communication and building relationships with these athletes is important. How do you try and balance that with so many players on the football team?
I mean, we have a lot of staff members. It's great. I mean, we'll talk about the Cleveland Clinic partnership and how many athletic trainers that we do have, but we kind of find, you know, we gravitate to certain athletes, or you build that one relationship and they'll keep coming back. Or, you know, somebody sees that you've done such a great job on rehab and treatment with an athlete that they're going to come start seeing you. And with all of our athletic training rooms, we try to build an environment that is open to them. They feel comfortable. They want to come talk to us. They want to work with us, and not afraid that, oh, they told the athletic trainer about this injury, I'm going to get in trouble for it, or I'm going to lose playing time over it. We want to make sure it's comfortable for them to come in and really trust us what we're doing.
I gotta say, these guys, best around.
We try to be.
Technology is so prevalent nowadays. We saw you tape my ankle earlier. What are some of the things that you guys still do without technology, or is it just really the taping and you guys are using that technology to help you guys as well?
I mean, taping is something you'll see on a daily basis. We use a couple pieces of equipment called a goniometer, which is basically a plastic compass. And so when we're coming back from injuries, we talked a lot about surgical cases. We'll get measurements of different joints and how much they're moving, relay that back to our surgical staff and our doctors to make sure that they know that, yes, this is improving properly, we're getting the range of motion back. And I would say that that's probably one of the things that is one of the older pieces of equipment, a plastic compass. We still use a handheld tape measure for a lot of things that we do too. And you know, we can talk about all this equipment that we have and show it off, or we may not be as fortunate as some of the larger schools, but we still find a way to get to the point that we need to.
And you're in year 5 now, correct, at Kent State? So what about Kent State has made it special for you, and how are you continuing to build relationships here at KSU?
Yeah, I think it's been awesome so far. Like the staff is all extremely young. We all get along in such a close-knit group. We're all trying to help each other out. Like, that's been the most comforting thing is, you know, if somebody's sick for a day, we try to pick them up as much as we possibly can and cover for them. You know, we're having somebody go out on leave for a little while, we're gonna fill in for her spot. It's much more of a family environment. The coaches have been great, the athletes have been great. It's a high level of athletics, and we have the support of the administration, which has been, you know, great to have in our back pocket at all points in time.
And as for a young, let's say a student that's majoring in exercise science that maybe wants to do what you do down the road, Alan, what's some words of advice or pieces of advice you have for them? Yeah,
I would strongly encourage it. If you're young, you know, especially if you're single too, get into the profession as quick as you can. There can be some daunting hours, but it's really rewarding. I think the best thing is having somebody, you know, God forbid, gets hurt, but seeing them go through the rehab process, seeing the work that they put in to get back on the field, it's rewarding for us. So especially when our teams are winning, really makes us feel good. We feel part of the team as much as we can, that we're doing that and we're helping those guys get to that, or girls get to that point.
Certainly sounds rewarding. I think I'm going to take a nap in these while these continue to, while they're on my legs. But yeah, I appreciate learning all this new type of stuff, Alan, and it's been a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to have you.
All right, you see the sign right behind me, Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine. Trent, I know that's a relatively new partnership. Tell us about that.
We just started the partnership in July, and we have 14 athletic trainers as part of this partnership. We have a whole army of physicians, and it's been great so far.
And you mentioned 14 full-time staff members that are now able to individualize a little bit more with their sports. How much does that help them build relationships with different athletes and continue to specialize in the sport that they're in?
Oh, it's huge. It's not only huge for that piece of it, but also for quality of life and having some kind of normalcy in their own personal life. It is huge, and we're certainly very fortunate to have it.
And take me through some of the other reasons why this partnership has been beneficial. I know as a broadcast person, I'm always saying, you know, the Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine Radio Network. So why has this been so beneficial to Kent State Athletics?
I think the biggest thing is everybody knows the Cleveland Clinic brand. Everybody knows the Cleveland Clinic name. You know, they are arguably the best in the country, and I think we've seen that in the short 6 months that we've been with them.
And you obviously overseeing all the athletic trainers. You mentioned to me since 2009, you really oversaw the athletic training staff here at Kent State. Why has this job been special to you? I know it's year 16 coming up, right?
I've been here for 22 years.
22 years.
But Yeah, it is good for a lot of the reasons that Alan already said. I think that being able to work with student athletes and be able to see them get back on the field and get back to competition has been huge. In my current role, I think that being able to work with people like Alan and the physicians that we have and the physical therapists, I think has been the most rewarding for me today.
Well, I've certainly learned a lot today from yourself and the rest of the Kent State athletic training staff. Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine, Kent State Athletic Training, a partnership for many years to come.